What if the reason you're not sleeping well, not feeling inspired, or not finding the love you're looking for has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the space you live in? Today, I got to sit down with Cliff Tan. He's an architect, a Feng Shui expert, and the creator behind Dear Modern. We talk about why your bed position matters more than you think, how to set up your workspace so you actually want to be there, the subtle ways that your home might be keeping you stuck without you even realizing it. This isn't superstition, it's about designing a space that makes you feel safe, calm, and inspired, so your home becomes the place where your best life can actually happen. All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Hydrate. I'm so excited to have Cliff Tan, all the way in London right now, joining us to talk about architecture and Feng Shui and how does this incorporate into a hydrate lifestyle. It's huge because our home is our sanctuary. Our home is where we heal. Our home is where we restore. And a lot of people are not feeling restored in their home. They're not feeling like it's a place that all of their dreams are coming true because it's not set up right. And who would think, like, when you hear this word feng shui, Cliff, or people hear it, do you think they have it wrong or they don't understand it? Help us understand what feng shui actually is and how it incorporates into architecture.
Well, like Feng Shui is basically the art of creating the best possible environment for you to thrive and be happy in. There are two kinds of misconceptions of Feng Shui. One of them are the people who feel like, oh, it's just a bunch of woohoo superstition, like I don't believe in it. And then there's also on the other side, the people who are a bit too fearful about it. Oh no, what if I do something wrong? My life is going to fall to pieces. So it's neither of those. It is a very applicable, practical way of making your environment suit you to make you feel good and thrive in your surrounding.
Ooh, I like that. I want to feel good in my surroundings. Okay. So tell me if I didn't know anything about feng shui and you were going to come into my home, what would be the top 3 things that you would want to look at?
So the top 3 things, like the first one is that you must not feel vulnerable. You must always feel secure in your home because our home is our sanctuary. We need to feel protected. We need to feel calm. We don't want to feel exposed or on the edge. So I'll look for like little cues that ensure that you feel comfortable and secure in your home. Second, I need to be happy in your home. So I want you to be close. I want to find out if you are close to the nice things, natural light, beautiful sounds, a nice calming environment, something that makes you feel good. And finally, I will try to find out what do you do most in your home? How do you spend your time to like live your life? How do you live life? And in that position, that you need to feel really good. Like if you have hobbies, or if you work from home a lot, or if you love to sit on your couch, that particular position needs to be comfortable and also feed you with all the positive things you want to do. Like for example, if let's say you work from home a lot, your workspace needs to have lots of good natural light. It needs to be inspiring. It needs to be motivating. So it is about feeling safe, feeling comfortable, and feeling inspired.
Okay, we need to feel safe, we need to feel comfortable, and we need to feel inspired. How do you create inspiration in the home?
That is when feng shui touches on memory, like what you associate with that. Like for example, simple example, like you can hang pictures of your family. Hanging pictures of your family is not just decorating the walls. It's really reminding you of why you are here, why your home is here. You are here to like support your family. You are here because your partner makes you happy. You're here because your kids makes you feel motivated. Even if you're alone, you have pictures of you and your friends, or you and your pet, or you by yourself. It just reminds you of like why you are here and why you got started.
Oh, so we want things around our home that remind us of our purpose.
Mm.
Okay, I like that. And when you talk about feeling safe and not vulnerable, can you go into that a little more? What are ways that people feel vulnerable in their home, and what are ways that we can mitigate those vulnerabilities?
Well, a very simple example would be like the bedroom. Where do you place your bed? The most classic thing in feng shui, your bed position, super important. Some people they will put their bed, like for example, with your head against the window and they live on the ground floor, then your neighbors will be walking their dogs behind your house and they can look into your room. You will feel vulnerable in that sense. Or if I place my bed really, really close to the door of the bedroom, when the door opens, you can see down the long hallway. That alone, it makes you feel like, oh, I'm not that secure. Like if someone is in my house, they can see me in my bed. It's not so comfortable. People live with it over time. Like you will see people living in like homes with not a very good layout, bad feng shui layouts, and they say, no, it's fine, I'm used to it. That's the problem. They're used to it. They don't know that it could be better. And if I move my bed in such a way that you don't feel so insecure, you feel very calm, you will naturally sleep a little bit better, and that can also affect your well-being.
Okay. So when you're talking about the bed, something's coming up for me. How there's polarity on the earth, right? So we've got the North Pole, the South Pole, and the different polarities of our home and Hartman grids and all of these things that are happening that are creating energetic poles in the home. So where your head is, does that matter based on the polarity of the earth?
So it matters to a limited extent. So in Vastu Sastra, which is like the Indian equivalent of Feng Shui, they avoid their head pointing to the north for this very reason, because of the North Pole and the polarities of the earth. So that is something that you could adhere to. It's just that in Feng Shui, we need to remember that you have to take into account everything else. So what is more impactful is probably the door and the window rather than the polarity. So if your room is all great and nice and you can avoid your head to the north, I'll say, yeah, do it. But if in trying to avoid your head to the north, in the end you put your feet facing the door, that's worse. Like I rather you compromise on the magnetic fields rather than the actual flow of the room, because the magnetic fields is present but it's very, 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 very minor. It affects to only a very, very minimal, minute degree. But the door position and the draft and the air and the natural light, that has a much stronger effect on you. And if we are talking about magnetic fields, you would also be looking at more immediate things, such as if there's an electrical substation around you, or if there's a big pylon above you. Things like that have equal amounts of impact to your space. So I would say the first priority is to make sure you are not physically exposed to things, and then the energetic things that underlie.
Okay. Let's talk about television in the bedroom, things like that. Like, what are your thoughts on that? A lot of people like to fall asleep watching a movie. The television's right in front of them. Tell us how that is impacting us.
Well, if we care about magnetic fields, the TV is another very, very strong element. A big, strong, big machine there. Televisions, computers, but let's talk about televisions. So in Feng Shui, we don't want TVs in the room for two reasons. One reason is that TV is physically like a mirror, a big black screen. When you turn it off, you see yourself. It's like a black portal. It's a bit unsettling. You wake up, you see yourself in its reflection. So that goes on the principle of not having a mirror in your bedroom. Now, for the idea of a TVs didn't exist 3,000 years ago when Feng Shui was invented. So, but Feng Shui does say that you need to sleep in a space that you feel secure, calm, quiet, very yin, yin and yang. Yin is the idea that everything is kind of more subdued and darker. A television is very young thing. It emits light, sound, energy. It's the opposite of restfulness. So, if you were to lie in your bed having the TV on, it will kind of, you associate your bed with watching TV awake time. When you switch off the TV, or worse still, when you try to fall asleep with the TV on, it becomes very difficult to distinct when is the sleeping time starts and when the awake time ends. So it's harder to create like actual restfulness. You don't properly switch off. Your bed is hot from your body heat. You're sitting upright, and it's much better if you want to have like a little couch in front of a bed and you watch TV in your room, fine. And then when you're done, you switch it off and then you go to your bed and you associate the bed with just sleeping. But ideally, don't even have the bed in the TV in the room, so you associate the entire room with rest and recovery.
I love that. What are other things that we can do to our bedroom to make it associated with rest and recovery?
Colors, patterns, the right kind of artwork. So like graphic images has a big part to play in how energetic your room might feel. If you have lots of jaggedy edges, or if you have pictures and artwork of big lions and tigers pouncing onto you, these things make your room feel a bit more restless. I have seen people's bedrooms with giant artwork of tigers before. So it is good to create a calming environment. But that's it. Let's go back to that tiger example. Sometimes I've seen people with pictures of ferocious animals in the room, which in feng shui is actually not a good thing because it's too much yang. But sometimes having something strong might give you protection. I've got clients who have suffered from certain things that have happened in their rooms before, and having this kind of protector hanging above them gives them this sense of security, which falls back onto the sense of vulnerability. So your bedroom is both a place of rest and a place of safety. So we need to find a balance between those two. But generally, for most of us, calmness is most important. So nice, calm colors, neutral colors, soft fabrics, curtains, blinds, not the aggressive slatted P kind of blinds, but more like soft, flowy fabrics, calming artwork, no TV, no pictures of all your family members staring at you from your the side of your room. So your mind only focuses on the rest, not focusing on the friends or the tigers. Unless of course there's an exemption where you know that the tiger is protecting you from the fear that you would otherwise be worrying about.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. It's so funny. Yeah, we don't want our family members looking over us.
I know. I have people like they have pictures of all their family there, and I'm like, the pictures represent the people. Would you have your mom-in-law sitting next to you and you try to like spend time with your partner?
No, no. Well, that's what I was thinking. That's something that might like really impact the love life. So in the
Exactly.
bedroom, we want to think about partnership and love life and all of those. And I've heard things like, if your bed's shoved up against the wall, the person who sleeps against the wall could feel trapped in the relationship. Are these things true or things I've just heard? Tell me a little bit more about the bedroom and how it relates to relationships and how you can upgrade your relationships through feng shui.
For sure. These things sounds woo-woo and superstitious, but they are true. Not in the way that you might expect. Like bringing your bed to the middle doesn't automatically guarantee someone will come into your life. But the bedroom is a place that reminds you of love and companionship. Not to say that you have to have a partner. If you want to stay single, fine. Keep your bed in the corner. It's totally fine. In fact, I would suggest if you want to stay single, keep your bed to the corner so you have more space to focus on other things in life. When we're not focusing on the partner, we want to focus on ourselves. So totally fine to do that. But for those of us who do want to find a partner, listen up. You can totally make your room more conducive for finding love. For example, balancing your bed in the middle with two nightstands, two table lamps, even if you are single. By doing something like that, every time you enter your room, you remind yourself that, oh, this room is meant for two. I am meant for two. I am meant for there's someone in my life. So, and then you pick up your phone onto your little apps, you scroll, you are more open-minded because you know what, that is my calling. I want to find someone. I enjoy this companionship. So you will be more open, more positive when someone does message you. So it's not that it automatically creates like magically creates someone into your life, but it makes you more open and then the person comes into your life. So little tricks to invite love into your space is to create balance. So you have two spaces to walk into your bed, balance. Two nightstands to remind you that the room is for two people. When you turn on one light, you can turn on another light. Not too much clutter, so you know that when someone comes in, you don't feel embarrassed. You know that there's space for them to join in. Even your wardrobe is not like stuffed to the brim. You want to remove all previous relationships or things that make you that kind of stall you, like the gifts from your ex that you come back to give away because it's too expensive. Like things like that. You want to let you know it's time to let go. However expensive that diamond ring was, it's not for me now. It's from the wrong person. Let's pawn it away and open myself to someone new. So it is about creating like open-mindedness and also this sense of calm and balance so that you feel good in your room.
Okay. I like that. So you're unconsciously, subconsciously putting those two things in balance so that you're always thinking of two and somebody else sharing that with you.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Anything else in the home talking about work and upgrading our potential with inspiration and just favor in our work and what we're doing? What are things that we can do if we work at home to upgrade that area? One of my favorite things to do when I prep for the gym is to get my blood moving. And the way that I do that is by reducing inflammation and adding some nitric oxide to my blood. I love HydroShot. Not only does it taste delicious, but it has hydrogen gas infused into the can, as well as natural occurring nitric oxide from watermelon rind with green tea, and it's 0 calories. We all know that an essential piece of staying hydrated is electrolytes. Electrolytes, what are those? Those are basically minerals in a liquid solution. And not all electrolytes are made the same. We want one that has all the building blocks for life so that we can build healthy new cells. And the way we do that is having all of our minerals and trace elements balanced and complete. And that's why I love Quinton minerals. Not only do you get all 78 trace elements that your body needs, but Quinton is cold processed and harvested during the plankton bloom on the ocean's floor, where there's so much bioenergetic information that pertains to life. And they capture that information in this double tip ampule. So all you do is open the ampule, put it in your favorite drink, in your water, or you can even put it under your tongue.
So we talk about bedrooms already, right? So that's rest settled. We are nice and rested. Now it's time for us to make lots of money. So if we do work from home, your workspace is really important because we spend like 8 hours a day at our desk. Some people, they don't like their work, oh, my work is not important. My work is not important. Like, life is important, work is not important. So what they do, they shove their desk in some dark corner in the closet or something, because to them work is not important, life is more important. But people forget that they spend so many hours at their desk. You cannot compromise on that. If you want to thrive in your work, you need to enjoy your space. So I would say it's important to create a workspace that you enjoy, that you don't feel tired. It's important to create this stamina, that you don't feel like, oh, I need to leave, I need to like, oh, I have to spend like another 2 hours at my desk. I'll just get it over and done with before I leave. It needs to feel comfortable. There's a few principles to create a comfortable workspace. It's basically to be as far away from bad energy as possible and as close to good energy. Now, what is bad energy? What is good energy? Bad energy is like, it's not like bad. It's more like, if you have people walking around, it's very distracting. Or if you have lots of snacks lying around, if you're working in the kitchen, that's also very distracting. It kind of pulls you away. Good and maybe noise. If someone's watching TV close to where you work, that's also bad energy. Good energy is like natural light, nice artwork to kind of inspire you. So you want to be close to the window. But that's it. Although I say window is good energy, if your window is like facing the west and you work in the evening times, this harsh sunlight is going to like burn you. Suddenly it's not that nice anymore. So it's not so universal. A window is not always good, you might want to shift yourself a bit away from the window so you still get the natural light. So it is about a juggle between these things to create the right balance of good energy and minimal bad energy.
Yeah, that's why it's very individualized for each home and what people want to accomplish, right?
Yes. Oh, but there's this thing that I do need to mention is the idea of the command position. When you work, you want to be in the command position, which means that nobody can like pounce on you from behind. So you don't want to work with a door behind you. Universally, you don't want to work with a door behind you or with the whole room behind you. Like your kids are at the kitchen, your mom is at the kitchen cooking away and you're trying to work there. No, you need to work such that you have a wall behind you and you can see them in front of you. So they
Oh.
cannot see your screen. They don't make you feel like, oh, I've confidential stuff. Don't look. You never want to have to trouble yourself with these kind of things. If you hear footsteps behind you, you're turning your head, who's coming? Yes, what's up? So it's about not having to bother about all these worrisome things, and so you can focus on your work and still see the view, see the people coming in, see the views out the window.
Okay, command position.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's why when you walk into someone's office, you'll see their desk facing the door, and it's like, "Hello, welcome. You can come in. I'm in
Coming to my
control in
office,
here."
yes, big boss style.
All right, that's awesome. What else do you do when it comes to wellness, as far as like we're talking about mental wellness, right? And how we want to feel good in our home, we don't want to feel vulnerable, we want to feel in control. But what are some other things that you do when you go into someone's home that really upgrade the wellness aspect of their life in terms of just having less stress? We live in a world that's very stressful. Or if we work out of the home, it's stressful. If we work in the home, it's stressful. You come into your home and you want to feel like this is a place I can just take a deep breath and relax. What are some things that we can do to help our nervous system calm in our home?
Well, of course, the most important thing is how it looks. So the moment you come in, it needs to look nice. So we need to focus a lot on our entrance. Strangely enough, because that is our first impression of home. After the chaos of life outside, when you come home, your entrance is the first thing you see. So you must not have clutter packages, like donation stuff all over your entrance. You need to feel welcoming. You come home like, this is nice. First impressions count, even though you know your home. Every time you leave your home for like a few hours and you come back, you mustn't be shocked or disappointed by how bad it is. So
Mm.
you need to have a welcoming and beautiful looking entrance. Okay? Small space but important space. Inside, of course, it needs to look pretty, look calm, tidy, not so much clutter. But of course, clutter is something that all of us struggle with. So it's not that you need to live in a minimalist house, but make sure you don't feel overwhelmed. If it reaches the point that you feel unhappy with the stuff that you have, then it's a problem. Sometimes it's just more valuable to get rid of them than to hold on to them and let those items make you feel bad. Okay, so that's just the looks part. Then the next important thing is how you actually use your space. You need to understand everybody is different. How you recover, how you find wellness and peace yourself. For some people, it is about cooking. For some people, it's about watching TV. Some people, they find peace or they find calm from playing computer games. So it depends on who you are, what your habits are, and then you must focus on that. If you are someone who loves to cook, make sure your kitchen is a wonderful kitchen that will support that. No point having an amazing living room, beautiful dining room, and then your kitchen is just tiny little hole in the wall. So, um, understand yourself and create the space that supports you. And of course, it needs to look good as well.
Okay. So the things that inspire you, you want to invest in that room.
Like what the things that you enjoy doing. So many of us we like to sit in the living room. So make sure your couch is in the command position. You are sitting on your couch. You can see out the window. And like for example, if I have a couch with the window behind me, and there's like I'm on the ground floor, people are walking around. I don't really feel comfortable at home. I feel like the whole neighborhood is seeing what I'm watching on TV. So suddenly I feel like, oh, you know what? My bedroom is more comfortable because I don't feel so exposed. Then you're just hiding in your bedroom all day long. You'll be surprised how little things like that can affect how people live in their homes, which in turn affects how they behave and what kind of people they eventually become. Because over time, I have a horribly late living room and they're always cooped up in their bedroom. Then they're eating in their bedroom, they're watching TV in their bedroom. Then they feel like, oh no, I'm just like wasting my life away. Even when it's not true and it could so easily be fixed.
Yeah. Wow,
Mm.
it's just about being like very intentional, right? About your home and thinking about the things that you love and being able to invest in that. In my book Hydrate, one of the 9 pillars of health is creative playtime. And I think that in our home, and I want to hear your opinion on this, but there needs to be a play space, like a place where you can just feel like you can create. Tell me
Totally,
about that.
yes. No, I think that's a wonderful, a beautiful idea, in fact, to feel like you can play and create in your home. Like, that's a nice thing. A home is not just four walls to protect us. A home is also a place that we can thrive, and nothing makes us more thrive than to create, than to play, to find joy in what we do in our homes. If we remember when we were kids, our bedrooms were our homes. You can't wait to go to your bedroom and play with your toys and imagine and make things. And then you go out to the living room, that's your parents' realm, but your realm is your bedroom. You can do whatever you want. So it's just like a bigger version of this where we can come home, you don't feel like pressured by things, you don't feel like unhappy about things, you feel like you can, like, anything is possible, and that is the most ideal kind of home that you can create.
Anything's possible. I like that. So if someone likes to bake or cook, they want to create a play space in their kitchen where anything's possible. Like in my house, I love to make hydration elixirs. I love to create things that are like wellness inspired. And so I took a room and created it into a huge pantry and created an area where I have a countertop just to make my elixirs, and I call it my lab, and then I've got all these tinctures and herbs, and that's my play space. So I can go in there and I can make all these potions. I mean, sometimes I'll make a body scrub or a lotion or makeup or a skin elixir, but it's like that's my play space, where I can get creative. But it's always clean, it's always open, everything's organized so that I'm excited to go in there and I'm excited to pull things. And like when you have an open, clean slate, it makes you more inspired, right? You're like, okay, now I can grab this and that and alchemize.
That is such a good example because it's like, for imagine your play space, your lab was not nice. Imagine there was no light, everything was everywhere. You could not find your things. It's like there's a big box and you don't know, like, you need to find this elixir, and it's at the bottom somewhere. It just puts you off. You don't want, you're like, oh no, I need to spend 10 minutes to find this thing, and you just don't do it. But when it's all organized, it's bright, it's nice, it's clear, ready for you to create, you just can't wait to, like, finish your breakfast and start.
Yeah.
And that is a simple example of how the environment alone can change, because, like, once the environment is great and you go and do that thing, then those creations happen, they take place, they come into fruition. So you can see how, like, the trajectory of your life can be affected by your space alone.
hmm Yeah. I've seen people in their home that, people that love to do aerial stuff, and they've got aerial silks hanging from their ceiling or a swing in their house, or, something that's like makes it playful. I have a music room upstairs where I've got a piano and our TV's up there, and we've got a trampoline, and we've got a lot of little fun things like a balance board and Indian clubs. And so when we're watching TV, our family practice is we don't usually just sit and watch TV. We're like jumping on the trampoline or doing the bell, it's like we're kind of a movement family.
Oh, I love
So
that.
we have a lot of areas to play while we're watching a show, and that's how we connect as my girls and I.
Oh, I love that. So it's like, it's very dynamic. You can do more things than once. You can, like, activity. It sounds really fun. It's like, I like that. It's good.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people come home and they want to rest, right? And we are programmed to think that rest is sitting down and watching Netflix or sitting down and scrolling on your phone, or that it's just like zoning out.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that in order to rest and kind of like let go of the day, it's important to move our body and really kind of integrate what's happened in the daytime and our fascia and all the water in our bodies holding this memory, and we want to get it into coherence. And it's important to just get things like moving sometimes because the stagnation is what causes the illness and the sickness, and the stagnation in the body can cause stagnation in the mind. So what are ways that people can upgrade their home in that way so that it's not just a place where you want to come home and watch Netflix? You want to, it's an inspired place.
I think one important thing is having space. Like, okay, this is not feng shui, but in Vastu Sastra, one of the very important elements in their home is a central open space in the middle, which kind of has nothing, like the air. So I think it's important to have negative space so that you don't feel like, okay, I can only be sitting here. You want to feel like there is flexibility, there's versatility in your home. So even if it means having a living room without a coffee table, I know not all of us have big homes, so it's okay to not have a coffee table. Just have little side tables for your coffee, and in front of your couch is just a big open space that you can stretch and roll around the floor. You can play board games on the floor. So it's about creating versatile space. Or maybe for someone it's like their table people. So you could have a big dining table. I know a dining table is a thing that many of us don't really use these days, but
Yeah.
sometimes all it takes is a bit of reframing to know that, for me to say that, you're allowed to use your dining table for not dining. You do crafts on your table, you can do activities on your table, you can play board games on your table. You can take out all the dining chairs. If it's just you and your partner and you have a six-seater table, you don't need six chairs. You just have two chairs or four. And that gives you more space to like maneuver around, not having to fight with a multitude of chairs. So it is about creating sense of versatility. Because it's true, I admit not everybody's homes is big enough to have like many things to do. So sometimes it's as simple as creating enough open space. A slightly bigger desk, a bigger kitchen island. A kitchen island could help. So it's about knowing what kind of space you thrive in, be it on the floor, on the table surface, or on the counter, and giving yourself that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, the negative space, a space that's just open and it's open for interpretation of whatever you want to do. Sometimes I'll have my friends over and we have a lot of negative space here and we'll do aerial yoga in the living room, but it's an inspired space to do it, right? Because it's like we just had dinner, we can do aerial yoga here, we can whatever we want to do, bring the balance board down, we can, just play because there is an open space and then your mind fills it in. You're like, what can we do right here? But if there's always a bunch of furniture, then it's already decided, right? It's like
Yeah.
that's fixed, it's there.
Oh, like I was just thinking about how nice your lifestyle is because in the old fashioned formal type of lifestyle, you have the dining room, you all eat. And then you finish eating, you move to the parlor, and then you all play the piano and sing a song. But for you, it's like they're all happening at the same time. Someone can be watching TV, someone can still be cooking a little bit, and then you can just hop on the aerial thing and do it. So it's like a fluid integration of all the activities together. There is no right, no wrong. There is no rules. You just enjoy yourselves at each other's company. I love that.
Yes, it's so much fun. I love talking about this, about feng shui and about vastu. And tell us a little bit about the difference between vastu and feng shui. How are those differentiated?
Okay, well, I'm no Vastu expert, but Feng Shui and Vastu, they're both similar. They take into account the energies around you and creating the best possible environment. So Feng Shui originates from China, Vastu originates from India. Both of them have the five elements, both of them have different sectors of the home, and both of them would suggest where to put things in the home. Um, Depending on their root. So in feng shui, we look at like energies, like this where the sunrise, where the light generally is. So like south is where the fiery energy is, and north is a bit cooler. Vastu is a bit of the opposite in a way because for them south is kind of a fiery direction. South is not great, whereas they prefer the northeast. And you might be like, oh, why is there a contradiction? That is purely because of geographical reasons. Because in China, we're in the northern hemisphere. The south is where the only light of the day comes, so we like it's so precious. Whereas India is closer to the equator, it's mostly always hot. So suddenly the northeast is a really nice direction, and the south might be a bit too much. I mean, I can't say too much detail because I'm no expert, but there is they don't contradict because they contradict. There is a logic behind all of them once you understand, and they both make sense, and it's very interesting when you learn about it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm so excited to have this conversation. Tell us a little bit about the front door. I hear a lot in
Oh, the front door.
way.
Yes. Front door.
The-
Right. Remember, I was saying how important your first impression is when you come home. Your front door is the mouth of the home. In Feng Shui, that's where all opportunities, fortune, everything enters your home through the front door. So it needs to be welcoming, it needs to be nice. In Feng Shui, we would have things like color your front door according to the directions. Like, for example, if your door is facing south, we will paint your door red. Because south is like fiery, hot sun all day, the red will really kind of make it pop and look really nice. If I painted my south facing door black, which is the color of the north, it would feel like a bit flat, a bit dark, a bit dim and dull. On the flip side, if I painted my north-facing door red, it'll be like, oh, this door is all bright red, but it's not getting a lot of like color from that overcast light that it's getting. So it just doesn't gel. So it's about creating a connection with the environment and the door. And of course, colors aside, how welcoming the door feels. You need to have a nice big door with decorations on the side so it feels welcoming, it feels grand, not some small dark dingy door in the corner. The decorations I will put like sometimes I'll put two guardians on the left and the right, two little lions or peacew or elephants, something on the left and the right of the door. We call them guardians in Feng Shui. But what they are is that when you step to a door and there's those two little guardian figures on the left and the right, you know that someone is living here. It feels populated. It doesn't feel like ambiguous, like it has this house been abandoned. You know that the figures are clean, they're standing there, they're looking at you. Someone is there guarding the home. There's a presence. So it creates a bit of welcomeness and at the same time it creates a bit of protection.
Hmm. So there, you choose the color based on where your door is facing. So what if I think my door is facing east? So what would that color
Green.
be?
Green. It will
Green?
be green because east is the color of the rising sun. It represents growth in Feng Shui. Growth is associated with the wood element, and wood is green, like growing plants where it's thriving. So yeah,
Oh,
you don't
well,
have
my
to choose
door
like a big
is
emerald
wood.
green. It could be like a nice subdued olive type color if you like. Like the most important thing is like don't just color for the sake of Feng Shui. You need to also like the look of it. That's the most important thing. You must enjoy your home. That's the number one.
Yes, you got to enjoy the home. Number one, I love. How did you get into this, Cliff? Tell us a little bit about your story. What got you interested in architecture and feng shui in particular?
Oh, I've always been interested in architecture. Since a young kid, I love buildings, I love design, I love houses. And at the same time, my dad was a feng shui master. Sorry, my granddad was a feng shui master, and he practiced form feng shui. And so there was all this overlap because in Singapore, feng shui is quite prevalent. And like everything is feng shui. Feng shui this, feng shui that. You must make sure your directions are right, the floor number is right, everything is right. So I was very influenced by this. I saw other buildings being affected and designed in a feng shui way, which I found totally fascinating. And after a few years, it clicked that architecture and feng shui are the same thing. And so I kind of learned them together and applied. Of course, being an architect in London, I didn't really expose the feng shui side of me. I was like, okay, I'm an architect, I'm very professional, let's talk about your home. But I will just secretly design their home with feng shui matters at the back of my mind. But I don't explicitly say, oh, because of feng shui, I'm doing this.
You had other motives that they didn't know about. You're like, I'm going to make you more successful and bring more love into your life by putting the bed over here.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, why did I find a partner like suddenly ever since I moved in?
That's so awesome. You're like, hey, yes, I am a little magician on the side as well. That's awesome. So your grandfather was a feng shui master. What does it take to become a feng shui master?
I mean, okay, so there's two ways to become a feng shui master. The classic way is through lineage. So it's like geisha, you know, like Your great grandfather was a feng shui master. He passed the knowledge to your grandfather, and on and on and on. So it's like a dynasty. It's tightly guarded secrets. You cannot break in. It's a bit like aristocrat. Like, yeah, it's the lineage of feng shui masters. Then there's the one where you try to self-learn, you break into it. That was us. We don't have an illustrious lineage, so we have to learn. My granddad was studying from books and books and volumes, which is a very unique way to approach feng shui, because that way you scrutinize it more. You don't just believe things that was passed on and told to you. You learn it from scratch. You really want to like be critical of, okay, is it true? Is it real? Is it really going to affect this person? Going to affect my client? You learn. And so I took on the same thing. So I mean, I'm a bit like semi-lineage by then, but still, same kind of ethos. We want to really understand feng shui for what it is, for instead of what it was passed on to us on a silver platter. So um you he learned about feng shui. There's two sides of feng shui: compass and form. So form feng shui is about the flow, the energy of the room, the light, the landscapes. Whereas compass feng shui is more to do with like directions, your personal hua number, like the different cycles of the calendar. So it's a little bit more abstract, whereas the one that we look at is a bit more physical, which is more tied to architecture.
Okay. That was very informative. Thank you. All right. Question. A lot of us travel. A lot of my listeners here are travelers. So, say you're going to an Airbnb or you're going to a hotel. What are some tips that you can give us to help us feel grounded and safe in our new environment?
Okay, so actually it's the opposite. You don't have to care so much about your environment if it's only temporal. So I would say feng shui is like a diet. If you eat it all the time, that's when it affects you. If you have just one cheat meal, which is your holiday, so if you go on like a 2-day trip to a weird hotel where there's mirrors everywhere, you will not sleep well for those 2 days, but it's not going to affect your life. But yes, you want your space to still feel good. You must not feel vulnerable, right? So you would choose a room that is like, for example, when you choose like cruise ship staterooms, you get to choose. You want to be away from the floors where there's a lot of commotion underneath the pool. You want to be far from all those noise. So because you know that you want to sleep well, you want to choose a stateroom with a window rather than the inside room. Even though it's very, very cheap, you want to be able to see the sea. That's why you're out at sea in the first place. So you do want to be aware of what you want to avoid. But apart from that, you shouldn't be worrying too much. Like, oh no, my hotel room has a bathtub in the middle of the room. Would that be too much energy? Is it going to like leak into my soul? No worry. Like, enjoy the bathtub. Take a bath in the bedroom. Fine. It's just a 2-day thing. Enjoy. Don't worry too much. Like sometimes this is very powerful. Like if I tell you, oh, this is bad, you're going to get sick. That is the thing that will affect you most. And that's why, my catchphrase, so now you know. Because once you know, you cannot unknow. And I don't want you to feel bugged by information that is not like that important. Like you're on a vacation, your focus is to enjoy yourself. Once you get all the actual issues out of the way, the safety, the noise, you should enjoy everything else that you have.
Okay. I like that. So you keep bringing up mirrors in the bedroom. Tell us a little bit. We didn't talk about that. So, because I have a lot of mirrors in my bedroom.
A mirror is a portal to another dimension. Okay, so we tend to avoid mirrors in the bedroom because a mirror is a bit like a door. There's a lot of movement in it. The movement is yourself. When you wake up, you see yourself, it kind of startles you. So it reduces the sense of peace in your room. It's another young object. So I would say in a bedroom, you want to avoid unnecessary energy, which is in the form of mirrors, facing you. If you have a mirror that's facing the hallway, facing to the bathroom, fine. But just when you're in your bed, you don't want to see yourself or see the reflection of other shadows around. So it is about creating a sense of stability and peace, and mirrors can kind of undermine that if they're placed in the wrong way.
So you kind of think of them as like portals. Yeah, I've heard that so many times, like, because I have had people come into my home and to look at it from a Vastu perspective, and it's like, yeah, these mirrors aren't good for you. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. But they're already built into my whole armoire and everything, so it's hard to get rid of. So I just
Don't worry. That's why I tell. Okay, that's why I tell. So I have clients who say that, oh no, this I have this, I have that. What's going to happen to me? Don't worry. You. That's why I need to explain to you what the mirrors represent. The mirrors are a problem because you wake up, you see yourself, they startle yourself. So you know that if you don't see yourself, your own reflection from the mirror is actually fine. If your mirror is to the side or to the back of your bed, it's totally fine. If you are bugged by it, you can put a curtain in front of it. Or if you are actually used to it, like you know the reason why it's bad. But every morning you wake up, you see yourself and you're kind of used to it. And you're like, I like myself, I don't mind. Then you don't mind, it's okay, don't worry. I got clients who actually purposely want mirrors for kinky reasons. No judgment. They can have their mirror, and I just explain to them the reasoning why you don't have. And if you enjoy looking at yourself, that's also fine, as long as you are aware of the circumstances.
Right. It's all bio individual. It's all about us and what works for us. I got that.
Supporting yourself, exactly. Feng Shui is not something to create more inconvenience. It's there to support you as your friend.
Yes, I love that. Okay, Cliff, so we talked about a lot of things today. Are there any questions I didn't ask that you're dying to tell our Hydrate community that you're like, you need to know this?
Oh no, I think you covered a ton of things. But the truth is, there's always more things that just come up every now and then. And I'm like, oh no, there's this great idea. I need to make a video out of it to teach people things. Like when I started my channel, I thought I'll be done in like 100 videos. But I've done like more than 500 videos, and it's still like every day a new idea, something fresh to teach and to share. So yeah, like just yesterday I made a video about how you can protect your house if it's at the end of a long driveway. So Feng Shui does affect houses externally as well. So if you have a house at the end of a long road, like a long road pointing straight at your house and you're the last house, that's considered bad in Feng Shui because it's very exposed. Everyone who's driving along this road is just staring at your house for 5 minutes non-stop. So you need to kind of protect your home, like put shrubs or trees in front of your house, just so that you don't feel quite so exposed.
Yeah, so that goes back to what you were talking about in the beginning, not feeling vulnerable in your home.
And even like sometimes, you're in California, lots of slopes. Sometimes your house is on a slope, so your front door is higher than your living room.
Yeah.
For example, so that is considered not great in Feng Shui because it feels like the street is higher than you. I am a hermit underneath, and people are walking above you. So in a situation like this, you cannot change the ground, right? I can't change the earth. So what I would say is you need to refocus your house and consider your living room as the front facing of your home. Nice big windows to the big views of the valleys, and where your door is, you make it very defensive, like a nice solid door, lots of plants, very cozy, very obscure, so you don't feel exposed where the ground is higher, but you really enjoy the open energy that comes in from the back of your house, the so-called back of your house, which is now your new front, with the nice big open views, make the big windows bigger, your living room goes there. So yeah, you can design your house based on the landscape, and according to Feng Shui, it will make it feel so much nicer.
Something I was thinking about that came up for me is I was taught that fans above you are not good feng shui. Is that true?
Yes, a fan is like a big blade. Vroom, 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 slicing above you. Very harsh energy. But of course, when we're in a hot country, we want some air circulation. Fans are nice because they create a nice breeze. I would say if you want to have a fan above you, fine, but not above you. Above your coffee table is fine. Above your dining table is fine, but not. So you wouldn't put your couch directly under the fan. You wouldn't put your bed directly under the fan. So I would say, okay, fine, in the living room, if it's above the coffee table, which it usually is. Sometimes people might have a big room that has the living room and the dining room, and then the fan is in the middle. That's when the fan is above your head. That's not good. So I'll put 2 little fans instead. In the bedroom, I would not have a fan spinning through the night because it can make you feel like jittery, like I would say in a bedroom, I would go for a side fan in the corner, standing fan, or if you really want to have a ceiling fan, have it at low speed, so it's not like blade slicing, but more like a gentle.
Okay. All right. These are good things. We're going to have to do another episode where you can walk through my house. I know you would love my house.
Your house looks so nice. Like, okay, you got something, right? You've got a nice background, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, I didn't mention this earlier when we talked about the office things. Your background, your virtual background makes a difference as well, because that is what people associate with you. When I look at you through this thing, I see a nice piece of art, I see like a jug, I see your hat, of course. That creates a nice impression. So when you are having if you work from home and you have virtual meetings, sometimes people work with the kitchen behind them and their partners cooking and the kids running around behind. It's very chaotic, or they're working in their bedroom and you see their messy bed behind. Things like that affect how people view you. They're like, oh no, you are in a very hectic space. Can you focus on your work? And
You're
so
very
it is
chaotic.
important to like curate your surroundings even virtually.
Yes, I agree. I love beauty. I'm a Scorpio. I have like three Scorpios in my chart. You know, everything's like I love beauty and everything to have its place, you know? So,
Love it, love it.
well, Cliff, thank you so much for making time. I had so much fun on this conversation, and we're going to add all of your links to your channel so people can learn more, because you just gave us a taste of all these amazing things that you go into in your shows. And I know that our listeners are going to be excited to learn more about architectural feng shui and how we can upgrade our lives through it. So we have all the links in the show notes, but if you'd also like to share the best place that people can find you, where is that?
Oh yes, so I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and all my handles is Dear Modern. And I've also written a book, Feng Shui Modern. I show you. This is the one, Feng Shui Modern. And I'm also writing a second book, which is coming out end of the year. So much to talk about in Feng Shui that one book was not enough. So you can find me on my socials, and I'll make videos all the time so you can watch. Very fun. And also the book is coming out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cliff. It was a
Thanks so
great
much,
time.
Tracy. It was such a pleasure. So fun, so fun, so nice to meet you. And yeah, now you know.
Now I know.